Hey everyone, I'm Justin. Welcome to my shop, and we're going to keep building the ukulele project today. Last time I got the body completed, or at least I should say the sides put together. And today what I'm going to do first is I've made a sanding stick to where I can get the sides and the end blocks all leveled out. After we get all that, we'll start lining up the top and the back to close up the box. All right, so I got the tops and backs top and back all sanded. That took way longer than I thought it would. That was actually decently difficult. I definitely need some adhesive back sandpaper. I think that'll help. If the sides are a little more true before I get to that step, that'll help as well. But got it in there. And where we are next is we're going to take the back and line it up on the top and get the sides and the lining marked to receive the bracing. Get those notched out, get these cut, and make sure we have a good fit. I can't believe it actually fits. First try, no real issues of getting the notches cut in the lining and then trimming up the braces to make the length fit, and it just popped right on in there. I'm so pleased. I looked at it from the inside and it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna leave it here so that I can glue it. Or no, I need to do the other side. But just wanted to show you what it looked like with that on there, and it ought to pop right out. So I have my 6 notches. These braces got trued up. I put it in the other way, upside down. So that may be what I do when I go to glue it together to get it back on there. But just so pleased at how that worked out. We'll flip it over. We'll do the same for the top. And the top lines up too. I'm pretty happy about that. There's a little more play in the top than the back, which is fine, as long as I know that everything's in place and it sits flush and I have enough room here. Should work. So the next steps that I'm going to do are going to be gluing the tops and backs on. And I was reading the instructions, and one thing that doesn't quite make sense to me is they talk about, gluing the back on, gluing the top on, and then truing up the edges, but I would have no way to get it in the jig. Not to trim the edges in the jig, but I want it in the jig and need it in the jig when I glue it on, because the way that this works is you put these eye screws around it and get it glued up, and you run a rubber band, a big thick rubber band across it. So I need it in the jig. But if I have both the top and the bottom on there, like if I glue the top and then turn it over without the top being trimmed yet, that's not going to work. So I think I need to divert from what the instructions say a little bit of glue one on, trim it, flip it, glue the other one on, trim it. So that's what we'll do next. I got to get the eye screws in, and then we'll start gluing. All right, I have all the eye screws in because we're ready to glue on the back. I've done my dry run already to make sure that everything lines up the way I want it to. So I think we're ready to give it a go. There we have it. It was a little stressful, but I think it went well. Definitely going to have some squeeze out to clean up, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And Excited to see how it turns out. I need it to let it sit for, it says at least 45. I might let it go a little more than that even. But super excited to have the black back gluing on. Back's on. Back's all glued on. I'm real happy with how it turned out. I have one small gap right there. So after, I'll have to fill that with something just so you can't see it. I think what will help improve that in the future, maybe I didn't have it quite completely flat during my sanding, and also maybe I just didn't have real good pressure right there when I was gluing it up with the bands. But now comes a part I've been nervous about. I think everybody's nervous about doing this for the first time, and that's going to be trimming the top flush with my palm router. I've actually just got this palm router. I've only used it a couple times on some trim work where I've just put a chamfer on stuff. I've yet to use my flush cut bit. So this will be my first time ever doing this. And I'm hopeful that it goes good. I think I'm just gonna have to go real slow, really, make sure I follow my grain direction so I don't get tear out, and hope for the best. Watched a lot of other people do it, and it's just one of those things that there's nothing to do but to do it. So here we go. It made a heck of a mess, but it worked so good. I'm so pleased. I don't really have any tear out. I have a little bit of burning here, but obviously that's gonna sand out. Boy, just really, really happy how that turned out for a first time ever doing that. You couldn't ask for anything better. So pleased. Woohoo! So I have encountered a problem. I have my back glued on, and it's all trimmed flush. And when I go to reinsert it in my jig, it no longer fits. And you can see, there's just too much, it's not big enough here anymore. But I mean, this is completely flush. So, and the interesting part is will it fit this way? It does fit that way. So does that mean the non-glued side is being compressed in, and I'm able to fit it in this way, but not the other? And the reason why I need to get it back in here is because to glue the top on, I have to use my eye screws. Truth be told, I've not really enjoyed using this kind of makeshift mold. And I certainly understand why this is how you do it for a kit. You would not go through the time and expense of making a different type of mold for a lot of folks that are buying one kit to then, just build the ukulele and get it done. But if I do another one of these, which I think I will, I might make an actual mold that fits this body shape as opposed to this. So I think what I do just to get this one finished, and especially if I'm not going to use this jig again, I'm going to unscrew one of these blocks, get it down flat, seat it up, screw it down. Because because I don't really know what else to do to get the top on and to glue it using this I-screw method. I really have no other way to glue it. I don't have, those like screw type clamps that go all the way around. I don't have a go-bar deck. This is really the method I need to use. Well, could I just wrap the whole thing? I guess you could wrap the whole thing almost like you would do a fretboard on a neck. Well, I think that's how this has you do the fretboard, but I don't know that I have enough banding to go. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try that. If I don't have enough, I may be moving this over. All right, I got it fixed. So all I had to do was actually just loosen these, and it was enough give that this would slide in. So it was pretty close, it's just off a little. So got it in, and then just tightened them up. So should be good to glue the top on. I'll make sure I have all my supplies together, and I'll come back to you when we're ready to do it. All right, just got the bands off. Let's see how we did. I may have to, yeah, I'll need to loosen these up. Got the box all closed up, and I'm pretty excited, pretty happy with how everything turned out. It is not perfect. I think the biggest errors that I can see are there are parts, especially in the waist, where it is not square. It's tapered in. I blame the mold and my inexperience. I do think when I do another one, I'm going to build an actual mold like, luthiers use when they build a guitar or something. I think that would help a lot. But everything is completely glued on, no gaps. So, I mean, it's going to be good and solid for a first run. Should be pretty good. I got the edges sanded, and we're ready to move on to the next step. So that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. For this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And in the next one, we're going to start working on the neck. We'll see you then.